Hey everybody, how's it going? John Anthony here, Chair Shot Sports. Thank you for joining us. We've made it. We've arrived. You found yourself at the AEW Dynasty pre-show predictions. It's gonna be a great show from head to toe, bangers up and down the card. So we figured to take a little time, go over the card, give you guys some predictions, and give you an opportunity to write in, tweet at us, and give us what your thoughts on those are. So let's get started. So kicking everything off is going to be House of Black taking on Cope with Mark Briscoe and with Eddie Kingston. Your traditional six-man tag. I think it's a great way to get these guys involved in the pay-per-view. It's going to be pretty good. I can't really see Cope and team not going over here. But House of Black is definitely in need of a of some W's here, stacking some wins. Um, Alistair hasn't really done much singles wise, and I think what they have as a group, I think they need to get a little momentum building that going into all in, all out season, and things like that, moving into the later parts of the year. But our pick is gonna be Cope and team going over. Um, So with that match, we get into one of our first title defenses of the pay-per-view, which is Hook taking on Chris Jericho for the FTW Championship. Had the pleasure of being at Dynamite 2 weeks ago, seeing Hook in action. Amazing athlete. I think he's going to do great things, whether it's in AEW, going to WWE, taking it over to New Japan, or even TNA. Hook is an amazing talent. Does some great things. I think he's had a lot of leeway, and they let him just kind of find himself, figure out what he wants to do, how he wants to get it done, even talking a little more now, getting more of a character, building into that, and making, I know this title isn't recognized by AEW, but definitely making it a noteworthy title whenever it appears on TV, especially when it's defended. Um, this rivalry going on right now between Hook and Jericho is awesome. Personally, I think it's being rushed. If you want to ask me, I think this should have grown. I think Jericho and Hook should have maybe formed a tag team, maybe even, dare I say, win the AEW tag titles down the road, maybe in a month or two, and then hold it for a little bit of time, 1 or 2 months, not even defending at pay-per-views or losing at a pay-per-view, but just some dissension happening in the team. Eventually, that not being a long-term thing, very short-lived. One person turns on the other, probably Jericho turning on Hook for not listening to him. They lose the belts to whoever. And then we go into this singles rivalry that we have now. What happened last week with the whole, Taz getting these two together in a ring, Jericho attacking his dad. My thing is too, personally, if we're trying to sell this story, we're trying to do it at a quick level, right? My thing is watching it on TV as a viewer. Let's say you haven't been watching AEW a long time. The thing is, Taz gets hurt. Jericho, obviously Taz has a bad knee. He goes down to one knee. He's kind of standing there. Hook does his thing. Get out of my ring. Personally, if I was booking this, I would have Hook just nail him with one on the jaw. Just give him a one hook or something. But just kind of choking him out, telling him to get out of the ring. I get it. He's mad. He's showing the emotion. But then Taz just rolls out and goes right back over to commentary, which is a little weird for me. At least sell the injury a little bit. Maybe go to the back. Maybe take a match off or a segment, come back out. Either helped out by Hook or just Taz comes back out. Um, but other than that, I feel like this is a little rush to get for a match on the card. This probably could have waited an extra pay-per-view. But I do like it. I think it's going to be good. I think Jericho's great at carrying someone like Hook at this point, meaning Jericho being as seasoned as he is, putting on those 5-star matches. I actually have Jericho going over in this match. I think if we are going to rush this, because we wanted this on the card and we want to start the rivalry, we want to kick it up, Jericho needs to win this match and take this belt from Hook, because Jericho gets to come out every week, flaunt it around, talk about how he took it from him, making it a real belt, can make it legitimate, all this other stuff, setting up a singles match down the road, whether it be Taz in Hook's corner, something like that. But I think tonight you're going to see Jericho, whether it's a 1, 2, 3 clean, Taz gets involved, maybe mistakenly costs Hook the belt, something like that. Whether it's nefarious tactics by Jericho, at the end of the day, I think Chris gets the 1, 2, 3 and raises this belt up and gets to carry it down. And we see down the road another singles match with maybe a higher stipulation, maybe a no holds barred, a steel cage, something like that. Um, but yeah, got Chris Jericho going over. After that, we have Roderick Strong, good old Roddy, going taking on Kyle O'Reilly for the international title. I think this is going to be a great grudge match. These two guys know each other so well. It's great to see O'Reilly getting back in the ring. I think this match, like I said, is gonna be a banger, back and forth. A lot of false finishes, a lot of top spot moves. It's gonna be awesome. I can't see Roddy really giving up the belt after just winning it so recently, but I think this is definitely going to set something up down the road. Um, Whether it be Kyle gets some other guys running with him, some more running buddies. We do some 6-man tag stuff down the road, running with Undisputed. But I definitely think Roddy keeps this belt. It's going to be a great match, back and forth. But Roddy's going to keep this belt going away. After that is another title match on Dynasty. We have Julia Hart taking on Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship, which Julia has done an amazing, amazing job of having this belt. Definitely bringing it to prominence, the most so since Jade Cargill. Um, Honestly, I gotta tell you, with Mercedes being involved, interjecting herself in this rivalry, obviously having her problems and her history um, with Willow. I feel like at some point Monet's going to get involved, whether it be the opposite of trying to cost Nightingale, trying to help Hart, vice versa. Whatever's going to happen, I do see herself making an appearance, interjecting herself, seeing seeing as she's not going to be wrestling for another couple months. Um, I definitely see Willow walking away with the belt. She's hot right now. She's over with the crowd. Let me tell you something. I was at Dynamite out here in Worcester 2 weeks ago. And Willow's from this area. She trained out here. She was at the White Eagle down the street in downtown Worcester. She was so over, hot. I know it's a big thing. Obviously, it's a hometown crowd, but the crowd is hot for her. They want to see it. Um, and I just think, honestly, Julia has done a great job, but it's kind of running flat. Um, she was hot at the time. It was great to have her in House of Black. I just think that whole aspect of House of Black needs to get not a reboot, a rebuffering, not doing anything with the characters or the whole thing, the whole gimmick, but just kind of finding a new direction, a new idea of what we want them to be, of what AEW kind of wants them to do. Um, so I see Willow taking that off of Julia. Nightingale's gonna be walking away with the TBS Championship going forward. Obviously, that's gonna be setting up her and Mercedes Moné for going one on one for the TBS Championship. And look, yet again, another title match. So that we have Okada taking on Pac for the AEW Continental Championship. Again, it's in the same realm. Pac, amazing comeback. I love the new gimmick. I love everything about it. Pac is just amazing in that ring. He has been since WWE as Neville. Still amazing in AEW. Never disappoints in that ring whoever and whenever he's fighting. But Okada is gold right now, and money being the Rainmaker. I can't see Okada dropping that belt this soon. Again, I'm sure somewhere on this card, one of these predictions I'm making, telling you the too soon to take the belt off, going and watching other AEW pay-per-views, how they run their champions. They're a little slower to pull the trigger on things. I think Pac with his return, I think they're going to use that for down the road, using it for more of all-in, all-out kind of things for him. Maybe sliding him down to more of an international title into that division. I think this is a great defense for Okada. Again, these two, any match in the AEW card right now on Dynasty, awesome, back and forth, great wrestling. You can't get up and take a piss at any of these matches. If you really think about it, a lot of these are really good to go. Will definitely keep you on the edge of your seat with a lot of false finishes, a lot of 1-2s, and a lot of high flying and a lot of action. Okada keeps this walking away. Honestly, gut feeling, Young Bucks get involved. The EVPs flex their muscle, do something in some way, shape, or form to cost Pac the match. Okada gets the defense out of it, picks up the 1-2-3. Moving on down the road, we see what happens. Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa. Now, I feel like this is a very, very important match. Now, for one, I think Thunder Rosa was a placeholder. Just putting her there. before going on to a bigger and better name, before taking on Perosa. I think this is Thunder Rosa coming back, inserting herself into this, giving a great match, but also being a placeholder and a benchmark to step over and then go on to Perosa to hold this for a bigger pay-per-view, kind of give it more, let it marinate a little more time where Tony gets another defense. But I also think too on the Tony Storm side of things, I think this is a very big turning point in the group. Whereas I think this is where you see the Mariah May and the Tony Storm relationship start to crack. You start to see some dents in the armor where you're going to see her either do something where it's a thing of where she tries to help Tony, almost costs her the match. Tony still wins, but it's almost like one of the things where her and Luther are looking at her like, what's going on? What are you doing? Because eventually, obviously, the payoff, those two are fighting either where it's for the belt or a grudge match. That's obviously going to be the payoff down the road, whenever and wherever it happens. I definitely can see it happening sooner than later. But yeah, I think Tony Storm's going to win this. Going away, Perez is obviously going to be the person that's going to be taking that belt off of her. If you want, my ideas and where my money is at, that's the next person's going to be holding the AEW Women's Championship. Another great match is going to be FTR taking on the EVPs, the Young Bucks, in a ladder match for the vacant AEW Tag Team titles. I don't think there's not words I could sit here and just pronounce and just profusely tell you how great this match is going to be, aside from a lot of super kicks from the Young Bucks side. FTR and the Young Bucks have such a great chemistry, are so great in the ring. It just goes without it. I feel like half the time they just improvise. They read off the crowd and just start doing wild stuff off the ropes, just wild things inside the ring, just reading the crowd, just feeding off each other. I think this is going to be an awesome match. Now you're throwing ladders into this. I just think there's going to be a lot of amazing spots. We're going to sit here doing a post-Dynasty show in awe of some of the things that happen. Hoping nobody obviously gets hurt, but I think you're gonna see a lot of crazy things from the Bucks. FTR, for a team that says no flips, they do a lot of crazy things as well, aerial as well as in the ring. But in young top heel fashion, I think FTR is gonna walk away with these belts, leaving the Young Bucks kind of crying, being upset, but I say that with the caveat of I feel like this might be the spot where we see the Motor City Machine Guns making their debut in AEW. At this point, I really feel like if Motor City was the move for WWE, we would have seen that debut either at the Raw and or SmackDown. I don't think it's something that would have hold away for like the draft or post draft. So I feel like Motor City is going to AEW, and I feel like that move is going to happen tonight. Interfering on FTR's behalf, and then the kind of FTR goes and does their thing with some other tag teams, whether it be the Acclaimed or whoever else they want to mess with, the Bullet Club Gold. But I think that opens up a new rivalry for the Young Bucks to usher in the Motor City Machine Guns. I think that would be an amazing time for them to run in and make themselves known. Obviously, being a ladder match, no disqualifications. But yeah, I think that'd be a great time. A lot of the rumors ever since we've posted our results, who we thought was going to win. Obviously we've talked about MGF making his return. We'll talk about that in a couple matches. A lot of words I'm hearing is Jack Perry's going to make a return and cost the EVPs, or Jack Perry's going to do the ultimate swerve, come back, cost FTR, join the Elite, being anti-Punk. So, I mean, is it possible? Maybe. Again, Jack Perry, very volatile, a big wild card. My only thing is, I feel like if I'm Jack Perry, you kind of ride out. Jack Perry's at a point right now being so anti-Punk. If he was smart, I mean, I don't know how long his AEW contract is good for. I think the move right now is to either stay what he's doing in No Japan. If they're legit, okay, so this is talking about legit heat. I'm not talking about the kayfabe and the footage and all this other stuff. I'm being serious. If we're talking legit heat with AEW, with Khan and with the Bucks and whoever. If Perry's smart, he stays away. He waits till the contract runs up. The first phone call you're making is WWE. You're gonna go, and Phil's in for business. CM Punk is down to do business. You have Punk win that belt, whether it be the world heavyweight or the WWE Undisputed. You have him win that belt, and either that night or the next night, you have Perry's music. You give Perry new music. You have him come down that ring, down that ramp to that ring, or have him come out the ramp, like off the ramp or outside the ring, through the crowd, and come attack Punk and go that way. Some outsider stuff. I'm telling, dude, that's cinema. And if you're Perry, you do it. Or run your contract out, go play ball with Khan, stay relevant, keep your name out there, and then when your contract's up, you still run a WWE and insert still scenario that I just ran out for you right now. If Perry does debut, I can't see him. I can't see him helping FTR. He's uber heel, and people would still love him as a heel. So whether he comes out, messes with FTR because they're Punk boys, joins the Elite, gets in with them, but still screws over the Young Bucks down the road to then exit AEW, just screw over AEW in general and to leave. That's a scenario I can see. So Jack Perry is definitely an option on the table. Something I did not think about in the beginning, but now seeing these tweets and seeing how it all makes sense, it makes a lot of sense. But the only advice I can say is if you're Jack Perry and your contract is going to be coming up, you're still playing ball, you're still doing your thing as the anti-AEW, anti-Punk, still mad heel. You can still be anti-Tony Khan stuff too, I guess. It depends on how you gotta tone that down if you're gonna be with the EVPs. Though the Jacksons are running around doing a lot of stuff, like making it like they run the place and Khan doesn't. So kind of a la DX with Vince McMahon kind of thing. But we do have FTR walking away with the belts. The next match is the match of the evening. Very, very, very close second is the main event. But Will Ospreay, or if you're Cope, Ospreay, taking on Bryan Danielson. This match, I don't think there's words in the dictionary and the thesaurus put together that can give me enough vocabulary and sentences to talk about how great this match is going to be. Now, if you're a guy who likes a lot of high action, a lot of flips and stuff like that outside, there'll be a little bit of that for you. But inside the ring, grappling, getting dirty, ugly, in the ring, just face to face, on your back, throwing each other around, just counters, a lot of counters, a lot of just mat chain wrestling. This is your match. This is what you've come here. This is what you paid your $50 for to watch AEW Dynasty, is this match right here. This match is going to be a barn burner, quite possibly, if I had to guess right now, probably the top 3 match of the year candidates at the end of the year when we do our awards. It's hard. It's hard to pick a winner here. Ospreay, the way he's been booked, obviously Will has been carrying the company on Wednesday nights with his notoriety, and good on him, as he should. A great sign for Tony Khan. Love the work. I love more of the mic work that Will's doing. Ospreay looks great out there, winning great matches, just being a presence week in, week out. Not so much a fan of the promo we cut on WWE and Triple H. I think that was a little ill-advised. Whether that was Will talking or he was sent out to talk about, I would have digressed. I would have not have done that. I think it was a bad look at the time, just for when the promo was dropped. I mean, if you want to drop that promo like sometime in the middle of June or July, I get it. But WWE coming off literally record-breaking blockbuster numbers for a whole week on TV in Philly, Mania, and just one hell of a show that they put on. And that's what the promo we're going to come out. We're going to talk about the same thing that Paul Levesque has heard from the boys for the past 20 years about sleeping with the boss's daughter, and that's where he's gotten to. I'm pretty sure we've now established that Triple H knows how to put on a show and knows how to write a script and how to build characters. So, again, little ill-advised. Probably if looking back, if I'm Ospreay, if it did come from him, might not be the best look. If it came from up top and for him to deliver that, might have been the one time you push back and say, you know what, mate, I'm not the guy. Sorry, bruv, I'm not the guy to cut that promo for you. But other than that, I think the way that Ospreay's been booked, the way Danielson's been talking, looking at the vignettes, watching how everything's been going down, I got to tell you, this is the match Bryan Danielson's walking away with. It's not going to be hard. It's not going to be easy one. It's going to be an amazing match. It's going to go just barn burner status, bell to bell. In that ring is going to be some of the most quality wrestling that if you don't watch a lot of wrestling, some of the best wrestling that you've ever and might ever see in your time. Brian, the reason also too I say Danielson too is, I mean, this is his last year. At the end of the year, he's going down to part-time, producing, things like that. Kind of going more of a backstage role with AEW. He's been very vocal that AEW is where he will end his career, which rightfully so. AEW has given him a new lease on life, has given him an amazing, amazing stage to just showcase exactly how great the Dragon is and what he can do. I would love to see Danielson grab that AEW belt sometime before he really goes part-time. I'd hate to see him come out, like, kind of be part-time, come out, win it for a couple months and go back. I like to see him win it sooner than later. And I think with this win against Ospreay, that might catapult him into a match with the champion, whoever comes out tonight, or maybe in a couple months down the road. He gets that feel-good win, holds it for a couple months. And whether it's a matter of, listen, I want it, I don't need it, I'm vacating it, whoever wants it. Kind of another way, he gets the win. Yeah, we don't get to see him defend it, but at least he gets that win, can say he held the belt. And then Tony, for what he loves, he gets to hold a tournament with 97 wrestlers and get it down north, south, east, west, blue, red, yellow, orange brackets and all that, whatever he wants to get down to, and have a new AEW champion. So yeah, Bryan Danielson wins that, walking away. And here we are. The main event of AEW Dynasty, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, AEW World Title. This match is going to be disgusting, ugly, brutal. Last I checked, this is not being competed under any kind of hardcore no holds bar rules, which is wild to me. I really thought that would have been a stipulation. If it is going to be clean, this is probably a rematch for whoever the loser is, to kind of flip it around and that person get another shot. And then make that one no holds barred, so you can kind of go back and forth and do like all the nefarious things that the heel champion would do. I've said it before. I said in my last podcast when we talked about when Swerve went against Samoa Joe. If AEW's smart, if Tony's smart, you need to give the belt to Swerve. If you want to get back to your Wednesday nights you want to hit your million viewers, this is the way to do it. Swerve wins that belt tonight. Walking away. AEW Dynamite. I don't care if you have a 10-piece kazoo crew and 10 jobbers from whatever town you're in, which happens to be Daly's Place. They're in Jacksonville next week, which makes perfect sense for Swerve to win that belt. You're going to hit your million. People are going to tune in. They want to see what the fallout is. And it's probably going to be a Samoa Joe rematch. That's why I said what I said as far as that this is a clean match. And they'll do their things behind the ref's back. The ref's going to get knocked out, I'm sure, a couple times. They'll do their things with chairs and chains and things like that. This is the time. The time is running out. Swerve has done such an amazing job since leaving WWE, which I've gone on record saying WWE dropped the ball on Swerve Strickland. All right. This man has done such a great job with his character and just manifesting into what it is now. Earned his spots, taking his lumps, taking the L's. It's time. You can't keep pushing this back. We all know eventually he's going to hold the belt, right? We all know that's the end game for Swerve to win the championship. And I get it. Samoa Joe, you don't want him to be a transitional champion. Like, he's been a great champion. Debuted the new belt. Now they have side plates. I've seen that before. But you you need to strike when the iron is hot, and now is the time. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Swerve Strickland becomes your AEW champion at AEW Dynasty. Your Wednesday weeks of 1 million viewers come back like the floodwaters rushing back in after the dam breaks. It's not hard to figure this out, folks. The fan base is waiting for it. They're hungry for it. And if you're smart, you'll know that if you give Swerve this AEW championship, you give him the strap, you're going to grab WWE people who are familiar with the name, who want to see him as the champion, see what happens with him on TV. I get giving Samoa Joe the one win over him, prolong his title reign, giving him another defense. It has to be tonight. I was at the Dynamite, if you guys saw, where they were knocking each other around with chains, and he left Swerve a bloody mess, signing the contract in blood. I've got the pictures. I saw it with my own two eyes. Those were stiff hits. Swerve got busted open the hard way, bleeding all over that ring. We were front row. I was trying to get the guy. I was trying to get the contract. I wanted the contract that was covered in blood. I wanted it. I wanted to have it and bring it as a memento. I wanted to bring it home, but they took it to the back. I wanted that contract. Would have paid money for it. But unfortunately, couldn't get it. But yeah. Again, I'll talk about the wild cards in the match. There's really only one. One wild card, 3 letters, MJF. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We talked about it here. I talked about it in our pre-WrestleMania show about MJF coming out, interfering in Cody's match. I was wrong. A lot of people were wrong. It's came out ever since MJF was in Boston for big business that he's met with the higher ups. It's understood that he's going to continue wrestling once he's healed up from injury. The way I look at it is MJF can honestly come out however he wants to do it very quickly. Obviously, he's still injured. However he wants to interfere to cost either Swerve and or Joe to this match. There's not many people that can carry themselves on a mic for 1 to 2 months. One of them's in WWE, CM Punk. The other one is in AEW, and that's MJF. MJF can be injured for another 30 to 60 days to carry himself to an all-in and all-out or a major pay-per-view, wherever Tony wants to do it. And he can carry himself with that mic all the way over and sell the whole feud. So let's say he costs Joe. It's not going to be MJF going back for his belt with Strickland. It's going to be Joe and it's going to be MJF in a grudge match. And they're going to get dirty. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a no-holds-barred match. But they can, with those two guys on the mic, can carry each other. Joe can never get his hands on him. MJF kind of doing his little, being very elusive, never being there, doing his things, maybe satellite, going uber heel, whatever he wants to do. And who knows how far along. And that's why I love Max. I love Max. Because very quiet on Twitter. Popped up a little bit with the situation with The Rock. A little bit for WrestleMania. So he stayed a little relevant, right? Kind of teased it. He knew if I come out and I talk about The Rock a little bit, people are going to think I'm going to make a debut. Come out for Cody, help him out. So that was smart. But other than that, no, nothing. Just radio silence. White noise. Nothing. Nobody knows. When was the surgery? You can find out if you look in the right place. You can find out when the surgery was done. What's the recovery time? What are the details of the surgery? Or what are the ins and outs? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. There's one thing we do know. He is signed to AEW. He does have a contract to fill out. Will he jump to WWE down the road? Maybe. Depends on who joins him. Maybe Ricky Starks is on his way. His friend CM Punk's down there. Punk's willing to do business now. Can you imagine MJF and a Punk rivalry in WWE with Triple H at the helm of that rivalry? Ooh, and we got Cody over there too. Ooh, and who knows who makes the jump before Max gets over there? Oh, my friends, that is a whole other episode in itself. But at the end of the day, Swerve Strickland walks out of AEW Dynasty, the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He is the savior of AEW. You will see your demos and your views return. Your $1 Million Wednesday is coming in 3 days if you do it right. Tony, listen to me. I'm telling you, It's coming. You just got to pull the trigger, my man. People are starving for it. They want it. As soon as he hits that, the media is going to be on cloud nine. I can't wait to watch the scrum. After that's over, we're going to do a quick post either way with the results, talking about what happens, whatever surprises are there, and talking about how it matched up with our picks. So we're excited. It's an exciting time. I think, like I've said it before, if AEW can get the right writing done, they have the right players, they have the right people in place, they can definitely start skyrocketing, hitting their stride in April and going forward mid-year and just finish the year strong and really turn a corner in 2025. So with that being said, these are our picks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm John Anthony. You can find us on any of our socials, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Chairshot Sports. Also, want to send an email in, be featured on the show, it's chairshotsports@gmail.com. We appreciate any feedback and or questions and any comments as well. So with that being said, everyone sit tight, grab yourself a frosty beverage, get something to eat, get your takeout ready, and get ready for AEW Dynasty.